Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit, where we're about to hear Canis' defense. Perhaps you might begin by explaining what you believe my motive to have been. That's a really good question, and it's probably the number one thing I cannot figure out. I never knew this knight. I had no contact with him, no connection whatsoever. So, we know that's not entirely true. But I don't think he knew that. Right? Given that this is the case, why would I possibly wish him dead? And even if he knew, like, why play a chess game with him and then kill him? Could it be that you are suggesting that it was my canine companion who had the motive instead? I mean, it makes a little bit more sense to me. Helmet only bears his fangs when I tell him to. Does seem to be the case. I'm not so bloodthirsty that I would kill a man I did not know. But you were an assassin. I mean, when he puts it that way...
An assassin only kills his acquaintances, not the soundest business model, I agree.
My work required me to deal with strangers, of course, but murder for its own sake, that's not my style. So I need to prove a link between Knight and Canis. I should go over the evidence again and see what I can discover. So I know... I mean... I know what the link is, but I just don't know how that helps.
Hold it! I'm puzzled by this focus on motive. Aren't you an assassin?
Assassin or not, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't spill blood for nothing. Neither in a professional nor in a private capacity. That's just not how it's done, is it, boy? No, it's not.
Hold it!
I think that's our in.
You didn't know who he was. That's quite unlike you, Mr. Canis.
You overestimate me, Mr. Edgeworth. Perhaps you had a harder time putting me in here than I'd realized, but I'm no master criminal.
That side, you are no run-of-the-mill prisoner either. You're the fixer, correct? I find it highly unlikely a man in such a position would have no knowledge of the new detainee at all. Then you have a rather inflated idea of my position. I have my connections, yes, but I'm not all-knowing, and I knew nothing of Mr. Knight. Hold it!
I don't understand. Yeah, why?
You're an assassin since when if you needed a motive?
I mean, at the very least, money. He's a strange man, isn't he, Helmet? Yes, he is. Is he a fool, a genius? It's so hard to say.
Then drop the act, Mr. Canis, and answer the question.
No, you will answer mine. Who am I, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm the very same person you caught. An assassin, a murderer for hire. Were I one to kill without rhyme or reason, I would still be free to recite sutras in peace out there.
Hold it! Of course not, but your dog was trained to kill.
What is this man talking about, Helmet? Why would he say such awful things about you? He's a silly man, that's what he is, yes.
Then perhaps he killed the wrong person. That would explain the lack of motive.
Do your precious police dogs attack people willy-nilly? Have some respect, Mr. Edgeworth. If you're going to accuse Helmet of something, at least show us some evidence to back up your claims. I would if I had any.
Hold it!
That seems true as well.
Then you must have done so, didn't you? You ordered Knight's death.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you'll have to try harder than that if you've forgotten what I just said. I did not know Mr. Knight. I did not even know that name. If you're going to insist otherwise, then the least you can do is show us some sort of proof. He must show us some proof, mustn't he, Helmet? Yes, he must. Whether it was Canis or his dog that committed the killing, Knight wouldn't be dead if Canis himself hadn't wanted him to be. So my first order of business should be to prove that Canis and Knight knew each other. Explaining what my motive might have been. I never knew this knight and had no contact. Alright, so that I feel like I can disprove. Oh, right, like that. With chess diagram. Match those on Canis' board. Yep, there we go.
You're getting sloppy, Mr. Canis. You may change your dog to clean up your mess, but some things still require a human touch. We found this in the victim's room. It's a record of a game of correspondence chess. What's more, the game depicted matches the game laid out on your board.
Oh, alright. What?
The number of possible games has been calculated to be 10 to the power of 120, and that's on the low end.
Wait, so that's 10 times 10, 120 times over, right? 100, 1,000. I give up. I mean, what do you even call a number that big?
A vanishingly unlikely coincidence, that's what. Now tell us why you killed Knight. Unless it is you would prefer to explain the coincidence.
He's gonna try that. Well, they do say that truth is stranger than fiction. It is, as you say, a coincidence. But that's totally impossible. We just proved that. A coincidence of a different kind, child. I never imagined my correspondent was the victim, you see. And yet here we are. Helmet is as surprised as I am, aren't you, Helmet? Yes, yes. The two have some sort of connection. I suppose there's nothing for it but to finally tell the truth, boy. The other prisoners had all gone to the yard, you see. There was a show of some sort, I believe. Here I was, minding my own business, when in comes Helmet, dragging a corpse of all things. I had quite the shock, not least because the murder weapon was still in the poor fellow's neck. Of course, I was none too keen on becoming a suspect, so I had Helmet take the body to the workshop. Once there, he removed the murder weapon and brought it back to me, just as I had asked.
The dog pulled out the murder weapon in the workshop.
Indeed he did. Removing it here would have made an awful mess after all. You know something? That makes total sense. Remember what Mr. Sott said, Mr. Edgeworth? A huge black dog had sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat. What did you just say? It was hellish, utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him.
I see, so what Mr. Sott actually saw was Helmet removing the murder weapon then.
Precisely. I can't say I wasn't a little disappointed that he was spotted, of course. Silly boy, it's not like you to slip up like that, is it now? And there you have it. That is about all there is to tell. I did not kill the man. At most, I'm responsible for the removal of the weapon. Now, will that be all? Poor Helmet is growing restless.
Objection!
Sorry, but if you could entertain us for just a little longer, Mr. Canis.
Defender.
No offense, Palio, but I don't think you've quite told us everything. I'm sure we'd all like to know why you thought you needed to pull the chisel out in the first place. He's right. Makes sense that he would move the body to avoid suspicion, but Canis had no reason at all to recover the murder weapon. So the mute one isn't as dumb as I thought. Please answer the question, Mr. Canis. It was because of the bell, the one attached to the chisel, and the one around Helmet's neck. A very distinctive design, if you will.
Of course, they were something of a trademark of yours, were they not?
I don't get it. How does that even work?
The Bodhidharma Canis, the blind butcher, his appearance was always announced by the sound of bells.
Okay.
The last sound his victims would ever hear.
You flatter me. Though it's been some years since you last saw one of them, you remember them well.
Your knife and its attached bell were one of the pieces of evidence seized in our case against you.
Yes, it was but one of my bells. One of only two in existence. Just two? Two and only two. One for my knife and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted, utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. I must be able to use my tools precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife has long since been taken from me. Mr. Canis's bells. Only two such bells exist. One is attached to Helmet the dog, the other to Canis's knife, which was seized by the police during his arrest. Okay. Am I starting to believe him? I might be starting to believe him. Only because it feels way too early to take him out of the story. When Helmet brought the body to my cell, I was rather surprised to hear a familiar sound. At first I was sure that my knife had been used to do the deed, but no, a chisel, an ordinary chisel.
It's certainly no assassin's blade.
Nonetheless, the bell would have suggested my involvement. Compounding the matter is the fact that I am the only person in this prison permitted to use such tools. It was clear that I would become the prime suspect, and so the chisel had to be removed and hidden.
You still claim that all you did was have the dog move the body, that you had nothing to do with the killing.
I'm somewhat inclined to believe that. How could I? I told you the chisel is not mine. You need not take my word for it. Mr. Edgeworth wanted to have it checked for fingerprints. What does he know, though? Eustace. Huh? Me? But I don't know how to check for prints. Get forensics. Oh, right. Sure thing. But. We got him. Fingerprints. They're Mr. Knight's.
Mr. Canis's.
Nope. Just Mr. Knight's. Oh, and forensics said there's no sign of any prints having been wiped off. Only Knight's fingerprints. This isn't good. Should I get them to check again? Now do you see? I never so much as touched that chisel. Helmet carried it in his mouth, that is all. Therefore, any prints must belong to whoever had it last. And so the murder weapon belonged to the victim? That's not helpful. As I said, I have not touched the chisel, therefore I cannot be the killer. Or do you wish to suggest otherwise? I've got nothing to counter with. But what could this mean? Is he not the killer after all? Is he actually telling the truth? No, he can't be. I'm sure this goes without saying, Mr. Edgeworth, but if you do not find a solution to your current predicament, and quickly, I'll have little choice but to relieve you of your badge. Even my patience has a limit, and I will not tolerate you throwing this investigation into chaos. Am I clear? You've done it now, sir. She's serious. I hate to admit it, but the fingerprints turn everything on its head. Without more evidence, I'm back to square one. Wait, something doesn't add up. A few things, actually. Why would Mr. Knight have needed a chisel for? You can do a lot with a chisel, child. Break out of prison, for one. Alright, then how did he get it in here? There's no way the guards would let him bring a super sharp tool in with him, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, I have an idea. Hey, Earth to Mr. Edgeworth! You can't stay there hemming and hawing just because of a little setback. The important thing is finding the truth, you know? It doesn't matter how we get there. As long as we save Simeon in the end, we can't give up now, or ever. Yeah, what she said. I'll second that. You won me around with that, Kay. I'm half tempted to offer you a job for real. It's like I said, the defense never rests. Rather like your pop said. What do you think lies at the heart of those words, Miles? Any guesses? Heart of those words. It's like this. As defense attorneys, our client's fate rests on our shoulders. We're the only ones they can turn to. Simeon's our client, and we're the only ones who can save him. So we can't rest, not while he's counting on us. I'm not about to turn my back on your old man's legacy. Are you?
I'm an associate with the defense now. No, I'm an associate with my father's firm. That's the role I've chosen, and that means that if I fail to save my client, I have failed in my duties. I will honor my father's vision and save Simeon Saint. No matter what setbacks I face, I cannot admit defeat. If one path is blocked, I must simply find another.
There we go. That's the Miles Edgeworth I know. Now let's find that new path forward. We can start by trying to figure out how Mr. Knight brought that chisel into the prison. Right, how would Knight have managed to bring a chisel in here? That's a good question. Ooh, it could be that. Bloody tarp. No. The dog? No. That's gotta be it.
Take that!
Usually it wouldn't be possible to bring a metal object into this facility undetected.
Because of the security gates, right?
Correct, but we already know that checks at one of the gates haven't been entirely thorough of late. Namely the gate at the entrance to the detention center.
That gate is only used to scan people. Any items they bring into the facility are only subjected to a cursory check. Are you telling me that the chess set wasn't put through the metal detector? It should have been. Alas, it seems the guards have grown a little lax in that regard of late.
I took advantage of this little oversight and had Mr. Saint bring him the chisel. Hidden inside his pocket chess set.
But why? That does answer one of our questions. And I suggest that the chisel was indeed Mr. Knight's and not Mr. Canis's. Knight hid a chisel in here to prevent it from being found by the prison staff.
However, we still have one rather pressing problem to address. That of the security footage in which Knight is attacked by a dog. How does one explain it if Mr. Canis was not the culprit?
But then how do you explain his prints not being on the murder weapon? This one's a real three-piper. 2 finds itself wanting for a satisfactory explanation. Wait, sir. I think it might be time to show you another one of my secret weapons. Introducing secret weapon number 4, Lil V. Wait, what? Lil V. Okay. That was it.
What sort of name is that, detective?
I came up with it myself, sir. Anyway, you can use it to analyze the video footage. Okay. An excellent idea. Perhaps then you might finally see that I'm telling the truth. Who knows if there's anything to be found, but it has to be worth a try. Alright, you want me to talk through how to use it, sir? Oh my god. Seeing as I'm not exactly familiar with video analysis techniques, perhaps I should hear him out. Yes, please.
If you could run me through its functions, detective, that would be most appreciated.
Yes, sir. So basically, you just gotta do what you always do. Examine anything that catches your eye. I can examine things with X, I see. Next up, see those controls at the bottom of the screen? The panels on the left and right let you rewind or fast forward. And you can use the middle one to pause. Get used to those and you're golden, sir. Seems I can also press R to fast forward, L to rewind. A to pause, okay? When the video's paused, you can go to the previous frame with L or the next frame with R. Or just use the same control panels I showed you earlier. Lastly, I better explain how to zoom in. Yeah, probably. Just line up the old cursor with the area you want to take a closer look at. Then use the panel at the bottom right and little V will do the rest. It's got 2 expanding arrows right on it. Can't miss it, sir. Up here I can zoom in by pressing Y to... Oh, okay. By the way, even when you're zoomed in, you can still examine stuff just like in regular view. Jeez. Also, you can make use of previous and next frame to get a good look at what's really happening. Only thing you can't do when you're zoomed in is play the footage, so there's that. Okay.
I see, and how do I zoom out again?
Just use the panel in the lower right again, sir. See how it's gone from expanding to collapsing arrows on there? That's because you're zoomed in. Okay. That's probably why. And that about sums it up. Now let's fire a little V up for real. Remember, just examine anything that catches your eyes and you'll do just fine. Footage from Knight's holding cell. Other than the victim being attacked by that dog, I can't see what else it might show us. But suppose we're wrong, what could we be looking at instead? Person in the footage be someone other than Knight? And if so, could whatever's attacking them be something else too? You should keep both questions in mind while reviewing the footage. You never know what you're gonna see once you start looking at things up close. Check every detail, sir. You'll find something, I'm sure. Alright, let's just watch. I'm just gonna watch the video once. What in this footage seems odd? Okay. That was it, huh? What is that? Can I zoom in? Oh, I see. Oh my god, alright, we'll just let it go back around. And pause. Alright. Okay, there we go. Can I zoom? Oh! That doesn't look like Canis at all. Or, helmet.
Sir, look. I suspect we may have made a critical error in judgment. What we're looking at here is no dog. This animal is...
It's not a pig. Can't really see it anymore. Is it like a baby bear, like a cub? That doesn't really look like a cat to me. But a bear just seems way out there. Especially for that size. I'm gonna go bear because it's definitely not a pig. It does not look like a cat to me at all. Oh my god.
That's not a dog, it's a bear.
What? So the paw prints from the photo I took...
We're not canine, but ursine.
Photo of the tunnel between the prison and the detention center. Saw paw prints made by a bear. Who had a bear? I don't remember. A bear, so that could mean... that bear.
Yes, I think it could. After all, who else do we know with such a pet?
Uh-oh.
If we were mistaken about the creature in the footage, it's not inconceivable we were mistaken about the person in the footage, too.
Maybe there's something in there that could prove it, sir. Something that shows it wasn't night?
You're right, we can't see the person's face, which means that direct identification is out of the question. But perhaps there's something that can tell us who they are indirectly.
Indirectly? Like the mirror?
Yes, it's certainly worth a look.
What in this footage seems odd? Also the fact that it looks like a security guard. Right? Huh. Oh, can we see something right there? Hold on. Let it go. Can I zoom in? Oh, I lost it.
The figure is reflected in the mirror here too. Is that a hat?
Oh! Shoot, who does that point towards then? Say, doesn't that look like the hats the guards wear, sir? I knew it! Ah, geez, is that what I think it is? Yup.
Have there been any reports of one of the animals attacking a guard recently?
Not that I've heard of.
So this may not be a guard at all, but somebody dressed as one. And perhaps this might shed a little light on the matter of the hat.
Oh, where's the missing guard uniform?
So no guards have reported being attacked by an animal as far as we know.
We'll just have to talk more about that in the next one. Alright, I feel like we're getting closer. There's still some pieces that I'm not quite sure of, but I'm not entirely sold on Canis having done it. Only because I feel like they've got to be saving him, right? Like this build up. We'll see. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.